What's up guys, Tamarakshan here. BS-6 scooter lineup is actually getting crowded now, and therefore picking the right one should be done carefully. I always think that buying decisions should be based on one's priorities, and in this video, we're going to compare two classic style scooters, which are the new Suzuki Access 125 BS-6 and the new Honda Activa 60. Well, if you are a subscriber to our channel, you will be familiar with the comparison style, and here we have divided the video into 5 sections which will give a clear idea about all the aspects of both the scooters. And let's start things off with our first factor, which is the design and build quality. Both these scooters are classic style scooters in which the Activa has retained a very simple and elegant look from the very first Activa till date. From the front, the panel is very smooth with not much curves but has this chrome garnish to give a premium look. And here the main headlight is in the handle with indicators flanked on either side, and here the Activa 6G has two models which are the standard and the Deluxe. And if you go for the standard variant, then the headlight will be halogen, and if you get the Deluxe variant, the headlight will be LED. Now checking the Access 125 BS-6, design is almost identical to the BS-4 Access, and yet that classic retro touch is evident right from the front view. Here the main front panel is simple with indicators and DRL as a single unit on either side of the front panel, and the headlight is in the handle, and this headlight design with the chrome cap is what gives the Access that neo retro touch. And here the headlight is LED no matter which variant you get with the Access. And about the range and coverage, well, both the scooters' LED headlight have great range and coverage, but the slight upper hand is with the LED headlight used in the Access 125 and the halogen headlight used in the Activa 60 standard variant. Even though it's good for night rides, it takes the last spot in this comparison. Then checking the switch controls in the standard handle of both scooters, starting with the Activa 6G, well, on the left side there is the dim bar bright switch which has an integrated pass light control, and then you have the indicator toggle and horn, and on the right side you get the start stop switch. This is not the ideal start stop system seen in the Activa 125 BS-6, but this switch control is for starting the engine and also for stopping it. But here these switch controls in the Activa 60 is set with convenience in mind, but what's available in the Access 125 is the basic controls. On the left, there is the dim bar bright control, indicator toggle and just the horn, and on the right, there is just the self start switch. So what you miss is a pass light control and an engine kill switch. But when you check the instrument cluster, well, the Access goes better because here the meter used in the Access 125 is a digital analog meter, and this illumination strip is for eco speed indication. And here the info shown includes oil change indication, dual trip, fuel level, time, odometer, etc. And actually this is the meter that's present in all the variants of the Access 125 BS-6. But with the Activa 6G, here also both variants receive the same instrument cluster, but it's the basic analog one which shows the bare minimum stuff. Then checking the side panel, well, both have a simple panel with the chrome branding, but here the one in the Activa is a metal one which is more sturdy, and also it looks a bit more cleaner because of the less stickers used. And here the variant showcased in this video for the Access 125 BS-6 is the special edition, and that's why you get this sticker. And also with the special edition of the Access 125 BS-6, you get a USB charging socket, alloy wheels, retro colored seats, and chrome mirrors, which can be opted as an extra accessory with other variants. Well, with the Activa 6G in both variants, no such things are available, and a couple of stuff to highlight is that there is no alloy wheel option, and also USB charging socket is not available even as an optional fitting. Then checking the rear section, well, firstly with the Access 125 BS-6, the taillight is neat looking and it has indicators flanked on either side, and here just above the taillight is the fuel inlet system. It is good that it's an external filling system, but it can't be opened remotely, and here you need to insert the key to open it. Still, it's much better than the underseat one, and also the aluminum grab bar for the pillion is a comfortable one. And with the Activa 6G, the taillight looks simple and familiar, and here just above the taillight, similar to the Access 125 BS-6, we have the external fuel filling inlet, but here it's hidden inside this flap. I like this approach from Honda because firstly it looks clean, and secondly it can be opened without the need of the key. It's done by choosing the seat fuel option in the new lock system, and then just press the fuel option in the available switch control, and boom, it opens. And when the flap is opened, you have a twist cap which covers the 5.3 liter tank. And about the tank size of the Access 125 BS-6, it's a 5 liter tank. And also about the pillion grab bar used in the Activa 6G, it's a comfortable one. Then about the exhaust used, well, I do prefer the standard scooter type one used in the Activa 6G more than the bit of an odd looking one used in the Access 125 BS-6. And here, since it's a scooter comparison, storage space is a big thing, and here the one with the better spacing is the Access 125 BS-6. Its footboard is pretty big, and there are two hooks available in which the front one is non-retractable and the rear one is retractable. And you also get a handy glove box in the Access 125, which is actually missing with the Activa 6G. And also the underseat spacing is the best. It does take in my last sized fully covered helmet, and still there is some space left. And about the storage space of the Activa 6G, Even though it's lesser than what's available with the Access 125 BS-6, it's still adequate. Here also with the Activa 60 there are two hooks available, but here both are non-retractable. And also the underseat spacing, even though not huge as the one in the Access 125 BS-6, it does take in my large size fully covered helmet. And here finally about the build quality, it's a straight out win for the Activa 60. The metal body is much sturdy and solid than the fiber one used in the Access 125 BS-6. So overall with this factor, the best part is that both scooters does have a style which appeals to the mass crowd, and choosing one solely depends on your priorities. And yeah, I'm not going to pick one based on design, but let's do it later after checking rest of the stuff, and therefore let's move to the second factor, which is the specifications. And here you go. It's the side-by-side spec sheet of both these scooters, and here as you can see, the engine capacity difference is healthy, and therefore there is power and torque difference, and the Access 125 BS-6 leads in both. Body dimensions are slightly more in the Access 125 BS-6, but the ground clearance is massively better in the Activa 60. And for the wheels, well, as you can see, both have a 12-inch front and a 10-inch rear wheel with the same thickness. But with the brakes, well, the Access gets the advantage of having a disc option, while the Activa doesn't get a disc variant. And also the Activa 60 doesn't have an alloy wheel option too. And about the suspensions used, the Activa 60 gets a telescopic front one and a 3-step adjustable spring-loaded hydraulic rear one, while the Access 125 BS-6 gets a swing arm rear one and a telescopic front one. And by the way, both the scooters have kickstart as well as self-start. Well, this factor did give us an overview of the specs offered, and here the Access 125 BS-6 being the one with higher engine capacity makes it look superior, but like I always say, what matters is not the things in paper, but it's what the scooter can do in road. And for that, we have a third factor, which is the ride quality and comfort. We'll start with the Activa 60, and here to be frank, the first impression you get is extremely satisfying. You get silent start, and hence the way the engine start is like this. And here after starting and hitting the road, Honda's enhanced smart power technology used in this FI engine does offer improved performance compared to the Activa 5G. It's not a drastic difference, but there is a slight bit of extra push. It's not like the engine is very responsive with quick initial acceleration, but instead the pickup chart is still linear. And since it's a scooter, I do like such kind of performance chart. Well, you're mostly going to use this scooter for city use, and for that, such kind of acceleration is better. And here the Activa 60 offers that, and also the engine refinement and smoothness is top notch for a speed range from 0 to 70 km/h. Well, about that, the engine surprisingly doesn't get stressed, and you can hit the 80 plus mark, but when you reach such a speed level, the ride quality actually degrades and gets less safer. And therefore the ideal speed mark I'll recommend for the Activa 60 is between 0 to 70 km/h. And now checking the Access 125 BS-6, well, this time the spec sheet proves true, and here this higher capacity engine is a much more responsive one. There is no silent start option, and also the engine's refinement, to be frank, even though very good, it's the Activa 60s which is better. But here based on the performance, the Activa 60 doesn't give any competition. There is much more throttle response, and here with the Access 125 BS-6, the speed gain is faster, and also the engine smoothness is vibration free for a speed range from 0 to 85 km/h. And here the Access can actually touch the 100 km/h mark for the top speed. Well, to put it simple, the Access 125 BS-6 is a much more responsive scooter. And here because of this kind of response from the engine, it's good Suzuki offers a disc brake variant with combined braking system as standard. And here since the variant we tested with the Access 125 is the special edition, the front brake is disc and its braking performance is good. And here the safe braking speed with the Access 125 BS-6 is actually below 70 km/h mark. But with the Activa 60, no matter which variant you buy, there is only a drum brake option, and here also you get combi braking system as standard, but here the best braking performance is only when you ride below the 60 km/h mark. Under that speed, it's safe when you do panic braking. So about the ride quality and performance, well, the Activa 60 has the upper hand in terms of overall engine's refinement and smoothness, but the Access 125 BS-6 does shine when it comes to performance. And about the ride comfort, well, this time, both scooters offer great ride comfort. The suspension was a bit more responsive in the Activa 60, and also the Activa 60 with the higher mass felt more planted through bumpy conditions. But for the seating, the better one was the one in the Access 125 BS-6. It's a more wider seat, and since it has good cushioning too, it did provide good seating comfort for both the rider and the pillion. Now the seat in the Activa 60 is also a really good one, and actually it does offer great cushioning, and hence the pillion is also comfortable, but area wise the Access has bigger area, and that's what provides the Access that advantage. And one thing to note is that the Access 125 seating was a bit low set, and therefore when I sat for the first time I was like, will it be discomfortable? But since the footboard spacing is pretty big, I didn't face any issues, and in fact I was comfortable in the Access 125 BS-6. And with the Activa 60, the seating posture is upright and it doesn't feel like you're sitting low, and also since the footboard offers adequate spacing, for me here also I didn't face any issues with the handlebar or for reaching the ground. And for your reference, my height is 5 feet 10 inches. Now from these two scooters, both of them offers good ride comfort, with the Activa having the slight advantage with better suspension response, while the Access interface advantage is with the wider seat. So overall from this factor, both scooters have their strengths and weaknesses. So the next factor is the second last one, and it's about the mileage both these scooters offer. And here the one with the better mileage is the Activa 60. I guess it was not at all a surprise. In mixed riding scenario, the 60 got a mileage of approximately 59 km per liter, and the Access 125 BS-6 was not that far behind, and it actually got approximately 56 km per liter. Now the Access does offer better number in good city conditions, and in such cases, it can hit the 59 km per liter mark. But in such scenarios, the Activa 60 pushes the number to 64 km per liter mark. Now here please do note, this is the mileage we got, and for you it can vary because mileage depends on riding conditions as well as the way you ride. Well, that takes us to the last and final factor, which is the price. Here the Access 125 BS-6 has 5 variants, and here also without any surprises, even the base variant of the Access 125 BS-6 is pricier than the deluxe variant of the Activa 60. So with this, all factors and aspects are covered, and you should have a much more clearer picture of how these two scooters stack up against each other. I did start this video stating that the BS-6 scooter lineup is getting crowded, and here these two offerings are actually great ones in that crowd, and they're targeting two types of riders. The Access 125 BS-6 is for riders who want that agile engine with average to good braking for a scooter combined with great ride comfort, which is focusing more on seating comfort, and also there is very good mileage too. But that all comes with a price tag that is matching others with the same engine capacity. And the Activa 60 on the other hand is all about refinement and smoothness, with the engine set for basically city use, and hence the safety is done only for that. And since the scooter will probably be rough handled, the body is metal which is sturdy and should last well in the long run. And also for that rough riding conditions, the suspension quality is great along with good seating, which altogether offers very good comfort, and to add that final cherry on top, the mileage is also excellent. And yeah, these are all offered for a lesser price, and actually Honda can do that because the Activa 60 is not competing against the 125cc scooter offerings. And for you, basically the decision should be based on your usage. For me, I do prefer a scooter just for city commutes, and here the Activa 60 is perfect for that, and hence that lesser price tag and that higher mileage with all the stuff ideal for city use makes me lean towards the Activa 60. But for you, make your decision based on your need, and no matter which one you choose, you will be happy with it. That's all for this video guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, please do hit the like button, and also please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And before you leave, it would be nice if you could leave your pick from the two in the comment section below. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye, and always stay safe.